guys, welcome back to my channel, The Wanderlust Diaries. I'm Amrita and today I'm going to be taking you through my travel in Brazil last year. So if you're planning to go to the Amazon, you would have to take a long list of vaccination. Now I personally just took the yellow fever vaccine because I spoke to a friend who had been there, and she said that if you wear long cotton t-shirts, long sleeve cotton t-shirts and long pants and drench yourself with like mosquito repellent or insect repellent, it's usually fine. However, this is not a recommendation. If you're going there for a longer period of time and you're going to travel around, I would recommend that you take everything that's required. If you're going to the Amazon, I recommend that you go with a tour operator. It's very important because they pretty much organize your entire trip. They schedule your daily activities, they take care of your accommodation, your food, everything. The only way of getting to the Amazon from the Brazilian side of it is through Manaus. They are like the gatekeepers of the Amazon. So it's a man-made city right in the center of the forest, and you would have to fly into Manaus. It's really cool. So when you are actually flying into Manaus, you can see the forest from the flight. So make sure you get a window seat. It's really pretty amazing. We got a lot of food recommendations and we tried out a few things. So the first thing we did was this thing called acai. It's like this palm extract, gooey kind of a thing. It looks like a milkshake. It has a very unique taste. Also another thing is churrascaria. It is definitely a must. Legend has it that the sacred territory of Amazonas was once protected by these female warriors, and hence they get their name Amazon in the context of Greek mythology. And it truly felt mystical, and I feel so lucky to even experience a tiny fraction of this mystical world. You know, what struck me was that people can be content with so little. And this is the kind of self-realization I came to after this trip. It was just nature in its true raw form. There were millions of mosquitoes and insects and dangerous things in the river, creatures in the river like piranhas and snakes and anacondas and all that stuff, crocodiles. And the tropical forest and just everything around. It was just true raw nature. There was no internet connection. We pretty much had to rely on human interaction with.
The meeting point of Rio Negro from Colombia and Rio Solimos from Peru is the starting point of the Amazon. The black-colored river meeting the brown-colored river is a unique natural phenomenon. Some trees that are submerged in the river have a watermark which is at least 10 feet high from the surface of the river. Apparently, the already massive river reaches up to that height in the rainy season. This is the lodge, our home for the next 3 nights, owned by the very lovely Jerry, who's a mix of German, Portuguese and British, and had a way with limericks. Everything in this lodge, including the tourists, had a very multicultural vibe. Even Logie, his beautiful dog, is a unique mix of Alsatian and Labrador. Another highlight was camping in the jungle. Our guide Titan taught us how to tie hammocks in the camping site, and that was our bed for the night. He nonchalantly made a fire, roasted 2 whole chickens on it within a matter of few minutes. We often get asked if the river was safe to swim in. The general consensus is yes, and even though there are lots of creatures such as piranhas and anacondas down there, they often have enough to eat and usually do not come up to attack.
Too sweet for me, for my taste, so I prefer Guaraná Antártica, but I like to try something different, but I was good for once, and now I just drink Guaraná Antártica. That's my story.
What's your excuse, Wesley?
There is no excuse.
Denial. Denial. This is the first stage, denial. Second stage is anger. I don't know. Third stage is going to take your phone and throw it away in the lake.
But next week I will start a therapy.
Another highlight was staying with a local indigenous family for a night. I learned that Nazara, the domestic head of the house, was a mother of 14 and was sustaining her family with the bare means of livelihood. They farmed their own vegetables and fruits and hunt their own fish and kaiman. The dinner setting was a very traditional Indian one, where the father is the head of the table, the mother seated next to him, and the children in the order of age hierarchy. The elder sisters and the mother cook, the brothers fish, while the father farms. The children had beautiful enhanced features with bright smiles, almost bright enough to distract us from the countless mosquito attacks. Even though it looked like a patriarchal society from the surface, I soon saw how strong Nazara was as a person. She was commanding and demanding, and essentially the lifeline of the family. She taught her children well to harmonize with each other and be obedient and respectful. This is Titan, our guide and our very own Mowgli.
Nature brings you back to reality. It makes you grounded, because what we forget these days is that we are not the most important thing in this universe. We are a tiny fraction of it. We are extremely privileged to experience everything that mankind before us has laid out for us, and this universe has to provide us in terms of resources, and that we should not take this for granted. We are all the same at the end of the day. Our situations and circumstances are different, and this is what makes us different. But the basic human instinct and the basic human nature is pretty much the same. Handmade fan from bamboo stick that Titan gave me. This is my souvenir from the Amazon. We actually became friends with all the people who we did the tour with. It was just interacting with each other, and that was the only form of entertainment. And then there is this genuine curiosity. You want to know where the person is from and what is their background and what made them choose this particular trip. It has a different charm and beauty. Like when you see the strong current of the river, and when you feel that, and you look around and everything is green and everything is pitch dark in the night, the moon is in its glory just like how the sun is in its glory, you don't really need much from life. I mean, you realize that having a clear sky full of stars and constellations and just anything that is up there is probably much better than, I don't know, the kind of experience you would have sitting and looking at your mobile phone.
Rio de Janeiro is a huge seaside international city in Brazil. In Rio, we met our friends who had been living in Brazil for a while. We visited Christ the Redeemer, saw the breathtaking views from the Corcovado mountain, had dinner at the restaurant where the famous song The Girl from Ipanema was written, chilled at the famous Copacabana and Ipanema beaches with some more, guess what, caipirinhas. We also saw the favelas at a distance. As our friends were very well acquainted with the place and the language, it made such a huge difference as we didn't have to do any planning at all. We also tried some Japanese cuisine, artisan beers, and experienced a bit of nightlife. We ended this amazing vacation with a must-have tropical fruit juice from Sucos.
Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. I've also linked my blog post in the description. So I wrote a very descriptive article of my experiences in the Amazon and in Rio. So have a read and again comment below to let me know how you liked it. Have a great day. I know I will. Bye.